Alrighty, so this is an 18-minute win, so it's gonna be interesting to see if I can find anything that went wrong in here or like something to improve on, but we'll take a look nonetheless. This one's gold 4 elo, so we right off the bat, what I was talking about earlier, basically with poke and all in. I'd say early game, you guys win the poke. They definitely win the all-in. Rakan's got a shit ton of CC. Tristana's bomb with PTA does insane damage in lane phase, especially when she has an engaged support. So you got to make sure that you're hanging back pretty far and making sure that you're waiting on Lux to hit binds before you go in. Or if Tristana uses her bomb on the wave and shit like that, she's kind of useless as a champ. And she started D-Shield, which is actually not a bad decision by her because she knows that what I was pretty much just saying about the poke lane and how they win the all-in. So she just wanted to make sure that her health was always topped off from the Lux and the rockets. So yeah, it looks like Lux started bind too, and you have exhaust, which is really good against Tristana. So this is already a pretty good setup you've got, even though this is an interesting Tryndamere mid with fleet footwork. Not sure what the hell's going on with that, but anyway, we're gonna get this shit started. So let's see. I guess it starts off pretty slow. So they went for an invade early. Okay, let's see. But they were starting topside, so they might have just stolen it, and you guys never even. Be kind of funny. Oh, alright, so you pop the ward, good shit. Because that's always good if they're invading like that. You always want to ward for your jungler, because even if your teammates like suck, you just want to make like the game idiot proof for them as much as possible. Is one way to put it, I guess. By just making sure that like they really can't like miss certain things on the map, even if they didn't catch it in the one moment. You just like make the ward real obvious, because then they start hitting it, you just ping it up and shit. Alright, so nice trade there. You got Rakan's shield down, getting the minions. Pushing for level 2, good stuff. Looks like you had a little bit of unfortunate luck with those minions, but it happens, it happens. So you're focusing the Rakan a lot. Generally want to focus the ADC in every situation other than like Soraka, Sona, or like something you can just like kind of explode and like, or it provides heals in the case of like Soraka. You kind of want to get that bitch down. You're hitting the Rakan a lot, which you usually don't want to do because this guy has 2 dashes, so like if his health bar is low, it's less valuable to you guys in terms of kill potential than the Tristana, because Tristana only has 1 dash and she doesn't have like that built-in shield passive that comes up every like 20 seconds. So generally trading with Rakan isn't something you want to focus your autos more towards the ADC, because if the ADC is chunked out, basically it's just much more valuable than the support being chunked out in most situations, besides, as I was saying, with the sustain lanes. If there's sustain supports like Soraka, you want to focus them when possible. But yeah, it's not like a big deal, but in this case at least, but you know, some games you definitely, every auto matters, especially in like the level 1 trades. Like you gotta just hammer away a few at the 80. This Tristana's not trading too hard with you either, so it's not like it's the end of the world. It's just something to think about, you know? Oh shit, don't trip. I gotta keep it on you. Alright. So Tristana used her bomb right here, so you gave her the W. Nice, nice. Making sure you respect the Rakan W. Even though he's got a shield passive back up. That shit is pretty annoying. But nowhere near Pyke annoying. Let's see. See what the CS is. Nice, you're keeping up in CS and experience. You always want to be making sure that you're the same experience or higher as the enemy ADC as like a reference point for just like how strong you are in the game in general. Obviously everyone's gonna have another level to compare it to, but in just the sense of like if you're stronger than the enemy ADC, then that usually means you wouldn't win 5v5s unless your teammates are really far behind. But even if they are far behind, you can still make it happen. But you always want to make sure that you're ahead of the enemy AD or tied, you know, because sometimes you can't get ahead of every game, but whenever you can. Oh shit, Lux gave a nice setup. A nice roots. Ooh. Ooh, alright, well that was, yeah, I mean that was a free kill. Nice job. It's always nice when the supports are actually playing the game, you know, it's always a blessing. So now, I mean, you're Jinx, and once you get a lead on Jinx, it's fucking pretty good as long as you don't overstep your boundaries, and you just make sure you don't like push up with no mana and shit like that. Also, generally when you get a lead, you want to freeze it, just because, well, first of all, you're going to have an item advantage, and second of all, you're going to basically, you're going to, if you get the wave right here at your tower, it forces Tristana to be all the way up here, which allows your jungler to come down and potentially gank. And if you get a lead and do this, it makes it so that this person who's 0 and 1, they really like want to just kind of play a safe game generally. You can basically make them, it's basically, it comes down to the fact that when you have this much lane for them to like have to run away from you killing them, it's much easier to basically kill them and extend your lead further by doing that than if they were just shoved under their tower. Because they usually want you to shove them under their tower. Usually you want to shove them under the tower after you're done acquiring a lead and you just want to get the objective or the plates. And getting the plates isn't bad, but it's usually not worth the risk of pushing up, especially against something like a Hecarim. You guys are both immobile, and you don't want him to see that his bot died and be like, okay, me gank bot now, and then he just suddenly blasts, you know, on in as Hecarim does. You guys are both immobile, and best case scenario, you use your summoners and get out, but worst case scenario, you just, you know, you die and suddenly Tristana's back in the game and your lead's negated. So try, when you get a lead like that, try freezing it. Hopefully your support doesn't just like use spells on the wave, but you just gotta basically do your best with that. But it's really easy to freeze against Tristana because of her passive, which pretty much doesn't allow her to like freeze the wave because it just does the AoE. But yeah, I see you're pushing it in here, and I mean it's not bad because Hecarim is top side, but if let me see if you guys are red. So you got another free kill on Tristana, looks like. Oh, this Tristana didn't even, okay. She bombed you and then like autoed Lux a bunch of times. So yeah, I mean, it's not looking too good for the Trist in that regard. This Lux is very, holy shit, that was actually crazy bind. But yeah, I mean, wasn't much you could do there in the way of damage for that. Let's see. So if you have 1300 gold usually and the wave is pushed, you just want to reset. And let me go back real quick, I want to see something. So if you, here, hold on, I want to see how long you waited here. So let's see, the wave is, if you push the wave right here, so if you instantly push this wave and back, you see that this wave is all the way back here under your tower, which basically means their wave is right here. So the waves are going to crash here in like 20 seconds, and it takes you like 35 seconds to walk back to lane. So like by the time you get back to lane, you lose maybe like one minion, and then suddenly you just have like items, and she's probably still in lane, and then she's going to have to back next time, and then you're going to have the push, and you can diner even more minions that way. So it's something to think about in that regard. Looks like you did do that, but you walked way too far back. Generally, just try to not go that far back because it kills a lot of time for the wave to meet here and then them start pushing it, and then you miss. Let's see if you missed. Let's see. So the wave is gonna come up here. Let's see. Yeah, so you got denied these minions because of that extra time that it took you to back. Whereas and sometimes, just to back faster, to make the I don't even hit the last caster minion in the wave. I just get it pushing and just get out, like, just to, like, you know, because it's the same kind of concept. It doesn't really matter, it's 17 gold in the end of the day. It's like, as long as you back it near enough to get the experience. Unless you can't, of course, but something to think about. So now if you freeze here, it would have been perfect, but you are pushing, and I mean, it does work out for you, but I would say that freezing here would be like, it would be much more basically like of a stranglehold on the Tristana, and I guess she didn't need more of a stranglehold, but like it never hurts, you know. So it's something to keep in mind. Let's see. Yeah, because if you froze up there, if she, for all the time she didn't spend like up all the way fucking here, all risky and shit for someone to come down and kill her, or just Lux to bind her, and then like you guys just run at her and kill her, and she suddenly her tower's all the way the fuck back here. And granted, she has W, but like you can trap her out of that shit with Jinx, which is really nice. So just throw that shit in front of her where you think she's gonna get W to after the Lux bind, and then it's, you know, you're home free there. So basically, yeah, because when you push it now, she gets pretty much all these minions rather than if you force her to walk up that far to get those minions. And since she just walks into skill shots and dies, it's like you see right now that she's pretty hard to kill even though she's just walking into all Lux Spines because she's under tower. Imagine if she was getting hit by all these Lux Spines up here, you know what I mean? Like you'd be able to kill her easily. So that's a good example right there, I guess. And now Hecarim, yeah, and like I said, you wouldn't be able to get ganked by Hecarim if you froze as well. So, not that, I mean, okay, it looks like you didn't even die to the Hecarim, but like either way, he wouldn't have even had this opportunity. And I feel like, you know, a lot of other champs could have pulled off that gank, or just other people playing Hecarim. So, you definitely want to be prepared for better junglers on the enemy team, because that was a pretty pathetic Hecarim gank, considering I've been getting shit on by Hecarims recently, so that kind of like hurt my eyes to watch. And now, oh gee, yeah. Okay, so you guys lucked out, I mean, in that regard. So like, I guess pushing technically did work for you there, but it's kind of just like the Fiesta nature, but like, it's not really like, what is it called? It's not, you can't like play around like hoping that the enemy jungler is just stupid, basically. It's like, it's not healthy to play that way. It'll be really inconsistent and shit, because like, basically just relies on you being like outplaying everyone every game, which, I mean, you know, we're all fucking human, you know, so if we want to be consistent, we just need to have easy like strats that get a lot done. Like, not necessarily easy, but like routines, you know what I mean? Like have consistent things that you do every game that aren't, they become easy because you do them so many times, I guess is a better way to put it. Because it's obviously, like each elo basically has like added routines, I guess is one way to put it. You know, I can't speak for Diamond, but obviously I'm not Diamond, so I imagine that there are things I'm not doing that make a Diamond player that, because that's what I've experienced for every other elo, you know, climbing gold, silver, all that shit, and helping, I've helped a few people get from silver to gold. But I've never yet helped someone try to get to plat, specifically through coaching, so this one's a first for me. So you're getting a lot of tower damage done, which is really good. It's very nice to do this stuff when you can get away with it, but you just always got to be making sure that you can get away with it, and you just got to be thinking about the kinds of things that I'm saying here, where it's just like, you know, minion waves, denying experience, tracking the jungler, and freezing it sometimes to extend your lead further, because you know, you could have easily killed her, like, you know, hypothetically, a couple more times if she was just getting hit by those Lux snares right in front of your tower, and the Hecarim wasn't even looking bot because, you know, Tristana and Rakan were just pushed up. So junglers just write off lanes usually when that happens. So if you get your lane written off, you know, suddenly you attract a lot less jungle attention, which is really nice. And that works pretty well through gold. So let's see what else goes down in this game. You're going back to farming, you're out farming the Tristana. She has a Cole, even though she's a little late for that. You don't really want that on Tristana that often. Yeah, especially if you're losing in farm. But anyways, you guys got Dragon, Infernal. Good shit, good shit. Yeah, I mean, LeBlanc is fed too, so you do have to look out for that. They have a lot of engage if this Tristana just like, you know, I mean not the Tristana, if the Rakan synergizes up with the Akali is what I meant to say. Oh, why didn't he ult? I mean, I guess they didn't want to all in you, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, let's try to find more stuff that you can learn from here. So, I mean, this is pretty much like I don't want to say a stomp, but I mean, you're not dying or anything, you're doing everything right that I've seen. It's usually better to look at what you do wrong, not because of the fact that you don't know it's wrong, it's more of like the fact that you might not have thought about certain things that lead to a situation where you do something wrong, because like there'll be times when like if you had seen something on the minimap or just like instinctively known something about a jungler's pathing or whatever, where it's like you'd expect them to come this way at this time, it doesn't I just lost my train of thought a little bit. I don't know what I was about to say. I'm a little tired. But anyways, let me see what oh. Yeah, I mean these guys are just inting. Like I don't really there's not too much that I can really like yeah, these guys are just dying. I mean, so like if you can get into a game like this, I mean, you just run around the map killing them. I mean, well, I mean, do you feel like there was anything you could have learned from the game? Because, I mean, it seems like you know what you're kind of doing. It just seems like you're just missing a lot of CS, which it's not. And I'm not saying I'm perfect with that either. It's just like, you know, it's something you always want to think about. You always want to try to get like 80 at like 10 minutes is like good CS. So like if you can try to get, you know, 80 at like 11 or 12 minutes, it's like fair enough, and it'll get you wins as long as you're grouping with teammates, because you don't want to prioritize CS over like helping people, but at the same time you don't want to run to doomed fights and miss CS, if that makes sense. But so, and you should usually go for Rift Herald if there's no mid tower or bot tower. Usually you could push the wave and then just go to Rift, or oh, never mind. This is okay. This is your Renekton, so that's good. I mean, that is sort of, if you ping your jungler at least to go on it, it's an idea. Not that you have to go on it, because you could just be burning down towers. I don't think anyone's stopping you with that, really. Let's see. Also, if you have a lead like this, just ask for red buff. Like, fuck it. Usually you don't get it till 20, is like the general rule of thumb. But, oh. Alright, yeah, you don't want to flash too aggro like that, because, you know, unless you're like super fed, you usually don't want to flash forward through towers, because it just doesn't ever lead to good things, especially on an immobile champ, because you can't get out if you get collapsed on. So, also I think you had ult there. I'm not sure. Hold on, let's go back. Oh yeah, you had ult, dude. Wait. You fucking silly goose, dude. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, so right here, if you... Well, let's see. So you got a crit on him. Oh, he flashed. I mean, I would have just yeeted the ult like right here. Let's see where he's at. Oh shit, okay. Yeah, you should have... Well, I guess you kind of were running from the Blanc, but you should have flashed that way if you're running from the Blanc. Well, what you really should have done in a perfect situation is if you R flash, it'll R from the place you were after the before the flash. So if you... She could have blocked it, granted, but like it would have looked sick if it worked, and she could have got faked out by it. So if you R and then flash back towards your team, it would have been more optimal, and you might have baited the LeBlanc into walking into your team instead of... Because, I mean, she could have easily hit that chain, and then you might have actually been in danger. Well, never mind. Echo was right there. I mean, yeah. I guess in a situation where you didn't have teammates, you could have been screwed there. But, I mean, yeah, there's not that much else that you can really get off of this game, just because it's such a hard stomp. These guys never really had any, like, momentum. So, I mean, good job, you know, but, I would say that if there's a loss you'd want me to review, there'd be more that I could actually, like, sort of, I guess, just coach on, instead of just sort of, you know, nodding in approval of, you know, free kills. Oh, this is a little greedy. So yeah, you don't really ever want to bushwhack in the enemy jungle as an ADC, especially like in a mobile ADC. Ezreal's kind of the only one you'd ever really want to get away with that, unless you're like Fed, or maybe Draven, I guess, to be fair too. Unless you're with supports with you, but you were just alone, so anyone could just come. Let's see also the Fog of War real quick. Hold on. Where the fuck are you? Okay, wait, no, this isn't. What is happening? Oh, you're dead. Okay, so we're red team. Yes, we are. Okay, so you got this. You didn't. Okay, you did see all of them. Okay, yeah, that was a not a wise decision. But I mean, you know, it didn't really matter in this game. But in another game, like where it was closer, that could have like lost the game. You know, your deaths matter so much more as an AD than on other roles. So be careful about things like that. But that's your only death, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if there's really anything else. Yeah. Oh, wait, I didn't mean to go forward more. Whoops. Alright, well you're. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much else to critique. I mean, if you hopefully got something out of it, but I would say if there's a loss, there'd be more like content for me to actually analyze in terms of like something I could give you advice on, because you seem, you know, got all your shit together this game, and your teammates do too, even though Renekton didn't really even do that much. He just was troopering along. I don't know if that's... He was playing like a trooper, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, I guess that'll be it for this one. So, yeah.